Alrighty, I am going to pop on over here and let you folks see me. Hello everybody. Welcome into the stream. My name is Voodoo Val, and I'm super excited to be here again for another creative stream working on some of the awesome peripherals for the DesiQuest project. For those of you who might not be familiar with me, I did a lot of the illustrations and things for the show itself. I did the illustrations for a lot of the design elements and things that pop up from time to time throughout the show, and I am also working on the guide, which has proven to be a pretty spectacularly fun project thus far. I did do a live stream recently where we went through and worked on kind of a first concept for what the pages could look like possibly, and after getting some feedback and things from Jasmine, I have kind of come back with a similar format, although the pages are slightly wider, and we are going to work on polishing some of the framework and setting up another few pages for the project itself. So I'm gonna pop over here to my my desktop capture and let you guys peek at some of my work, and then we will dive into the rest of it. So I do a lot of dark fantasy illustration. If you guys have ever checked out my website, voodooval.com, it's a lot of spooky, scary folks, a lot of Star Wars for no reason at all other than why not Star Wars, and all of that good stuff. So a lot of science fiction, urban fantasy, and high fantasy stuff is kind of my bag, which is why this project was so much fun for me, because it was like, why not? Would you like me to design monsters and illustrate super cool characters? Yes. Would you like me to design an old journal with fantasy information inside of it? Yes. So let's go ahead and dive into the project for today. So you may recognize a lot of these elements, and what we're going to do is, actually, first of all, what we're going to do is I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller here in the corner so that I'm not taking up too much space, and we're going to go through a little bit of what we worked on yesterday, and then I'm going to show you how we are going to sort of add to it and bring all of this to fruition. So we will be going with this idea that the pages kind of show you the edges of the journal, because the idea is that you are looking through a journal that has been populated by somebody who is traveling through Vihar. And we kind of did like a concept page last time of what they may have written after visiting Cafe Amiri. And we kind of concepted out this idea of what the nail fruit could look like, and we added some lorem ipsum, like placeholder text for where some things could go. And we're going to keep a lot of this. We're going to polish up the edges there so you can see individual pages and interesting things, and then I'm going to add, towards the end, we're going to do some kind of concept pages for further content that kind of uncover a lot of these little slips of paper which are like on the outside. So there'll be a version of the pages where, you know, the book is open, but you can see what this slip of paper is and what is on it. Same with like the little red bookmark and this little green slip of paper here. You'll be able to reveal all of those things and see what's up with them, which I'm very excited about. And we're also going to add to this page in particular more information about some of the items that are available at Cafe Amiri, as well as their in-game attributes and effects, which could be really cool. So if you folks are going to be playing your own game, you could maybe incorporate some of those things into your campaign. So I'm going to kind of piece through here as a portion of the recap. Also, I hope that I don't think that you guys can hear music on here. I don't think you can. I think that my music is only like playing for me because I don't want to have copyright music on here. But if anybody is chilling in the chat and wants to say hello or let me know. That would be fabulous. But I don't think so. I don't, in fact, I could probably listen. I don't think there's any, if I scrub back on here. Oh yeah, no, you can't hear. I've got secret music playing. Okay, perfect. All right, so normally I would actually have like music playing, but like I said, I don't want a copyright strike of any kind when we're on here. So I'm kind of playing it through my desktop sound, and then I suggest if you guys want to hear some of your favorite jams, play your favorite jams in the background. All right, so I did have some colors picked out, which I'm just going to transform these and bring them here because I've kind of added this to a new canvas. We went through to Adobe color.adobe.com last time and picked out some pretty interesting color palettes, things that were like very earthy and very like parchment paper with like small subtle splashes of color, which you can see kind of where we incorporated things. So we do have like some of that green and pale yellow incorporated into our little stamp and our bookmark. We've got a lot of these warm tones and things incorporated into the pages and the color of the journal itself, the little bookmark portion here. And then we have some of that pale lilac or kind of a bluish lavender color in the background. And what I'd like to do is make some of these elements a little bit more defined. So let's go ahead and I'm going to hide my color. I'm going to come over to some of my text, and I think I'm just going to make this text like really subtle because I know where we want to put it, but we need to put some real information in here today. We are also, I'm going to leave the stamps as is because I like the stamps. I think they're very cute and fun. But we are also going to add some information to our receipt, and we are also going to illustrate our Nail fruit a little bit further while also putting like a taped strip of the menu in here because like I said, we want to add some more of the food that's available to the player in here as well. But first things first, let's go ahead. I'm gonna kind of group together everything that is necessary, like totally necessary to have here. Let's go ahead and group those things together so I can just hide that. And we're going to look at the book itself for now. Because last time I was like, well, I'll just, you know, duplicate the pages that I illustrated. Excuse me. I'll just duplicate these pages and we will kind of have like this flipped, reversed, sort of mirrored thing going on, but we don't want to keep it like that. We do want to kind of, I'm going to paint around and edit a little bit on here to kind of make this seem a lot more like it is unique to each page. And we will kind of do this as we make our way through the book itself, just to give a lot more I would say uniqueness and personality to each page, because I think it would be kind of lame, you know, if you open it up and you can see like the exact same kind of texture on every page. Like, I feel like this is one of those details where if we were to sort of add this, we could give it that much more personality and that much more like personalized feel. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to draw a line directly down the center here if I can. I think that's probably pretty good right there. And we're going to bring this over a little further because this is very obviously not totally center and we want it to be. So just get that line in there, kind of bring this darker color in from the edges. And then we are also, I'm going to clip this to that so it doesn't break the lines, and then I'm going to add a mask to this, and we will, in fact, we will hide everything underneath here, and I'm going to come in and make it so that these jagged edges of the paper are not identical on each side, because that is another thing that can go into kind of making this even more special. So I am just going to, we can have like a little dip or divot here. We're going to smooth that little divot out and kind of give it an organic shape here that is not perfectly mirrored on the other side. We're just going to make it special, you know? This is how you put love into design. You know, you come in here and you add these little personalized bits and bobs that just make everything feel a little more cohesive and believable. And I think that, you know, from my perspective of like being the designer on this and like trying to add the things that I think represent the vision of the creator, I think that the purpose of this, aside from like being able to give you guys this cool thing, is helping with the immersion into the project, right? Of like making you guys feel like you have an artifact or an item of interest from this world. And I don't think that you can do that accurately if you take that shortcut of just like, let's just duplicate it. You know, I want it to be a special, cool thing. So I think that that is probably, I noticed that I have two divots up here, and I did do them separately, but I want to make sure that it definitely does not look exactly like the other one. Cool. That's good. I think that's good. And I don't think that we have to be too terribly precious about the, how do I say, I don't think we have to be too precious about the center fold there. And the reason for that is because I think that it's going to be something that's like bound in the book, or something that needs to be a very hard delineated like a border in a PDF. So I think just having a straight line there is fine. And we can change it later if that doesn't resonate with all, but I think that it should be all right. We can even blur it just a little bit in some places to kind of give it that organic texture. And I'm going to also, let's flip into this charcoal brush too, because that's the brush that I used initially. So we'll make this a lot more palatable, and then we will make very specific pages instead of my original just like sketchy mess of like, maybe there's pages, you know, maybe there's pages over here. Use your imagination. We don't want to use our imaginations for anything beyond just the interest of the fantastical content. You know, after that, we want to make sure that we are seeing everything we're meant to see. And I think that that will do it for now. So there's pages. Now let's go ahead and group those, and we will convert that to Smart Object. And I am going to duplicate it. We're going to call this P1, and we'll call this P2 just so that I can see. And I'm going to transform this, and we're going to drag this out like so. We're going to do like kind of a catty corner cock to it, I think. And then I'm going to warp it because we want to give it like a different vibe, have the pages sticking out. And what we'll do is kind of the same thing we did previously just now, and that is alter the edges then to really feel separate. All right, let's go ahead and make a clipping mask. We're going to take a darker color than this. and kind of scribble just so that we can really visualize. I think, in fact, this probably needs to be warped even further just so that that really comes through. I definitely want these pages to be visible around. Perfection. And then we will grab some of that and we will paint in some of this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's grab some of this dark color, bring that in from the edge, and then we will, this is on the bottom, so all of this can be a little darker instead of just in from the corners. And we will mask. And we will make it unique. We will uniqueify it, which is honestly not, that is not the proper term for that. Can I rasterize this while keeping the mask? That is the question. Rasterize layer. Yes, yes indeed, because I want to be able to paint on it too, because I might have to bring this around. Yes. Very good, very good. We can even grab some darker color. Into this, around the edges. Excellent. And let's continue to change these pages to make it look like I didn't just duplicate it, because that would be unfortunate. Also, I'm hyper aware, like whenever I do these live streams, that I get like super excited about what I'm doing. I get like super into the project itself. I think that my face contorts into an expression that's like not really very friendly looking, like resting artist face, truly. Because I keep catching you guys see the show, you know, but I see my workspace, and then I see my Streamlabs OBS, and I can see my tiny little me on my my monitor, and I look up and I have joy in my heart, but I look like this. So if at any time during this live stream it seems like I am very, very angry, please know that it is all joy, honestly. It's a joyful expression. Okay, that looks dang good. And it doesn't matter to me, like, I mean, honestly, that's pretty, it's pretty gross underneath there. But really what I need are the shapes to look nice. I need the shapes of these pages to come across and come through really well. And as we move to different pages, we can paint the texture into it however we need it to come across. The ones that are not on top don't necessarily have to be textured, because on that page that's not going to show. You know, there's no use spending the time to do that when it doesn't come through on that particular layout. But when we move to the next page, I will bring one of these forward to the surface so that it matches what you've been seeing throughout the project. And then we'll paint a unique texture onto that so that it doesn't match this main page here. And that's kind of how you create this nice continuity for a thing like this, of just, you know, keeping everything cohesive but unique. I'm using that word a lot. Okay, I think honestly, ooh, this is different. That needs to be, let's unlock. This needs to be added to. There we go. So that's not the same. All right, like it. Let's do it one more time. And we will, let's keep this called P2. I merged it so it's a little awkward. And we're going to duplicate P1 again. And we are going to bring that out like so. Love it. We might even bring it up like this so it seems like it's a little bigger. Maybe show more of it down here on the bottom and warp it. Perfection. We don't have to add, you know, like we don't have to add like pages to this like it's like a super long tome. We just have to have, you know, some kind of variation. So we won't be too crazy. That's why we'll do it like 3 times. Delightful. Let's go ahead and mask. In fact, actually, before we do that, let's grab a darker color and let's just, oops, I want to make sure that's a clipping mask. Let's scribble this in. Just that helps with the visibility, honestly, more than anything, so that I can see it back there, you know, so we can peek at it without kind of losing the details in the sauce, so to speak. Let's clip that. Let's bring that up because that kind of makes that difference. We can even take a chunk out right there. And I'm gonna kind of come into this other view so we can look at this side a little bit more. We'll also take a chunk right there because both of those first pages kind of bow out and we want it to, you know, have a little more oomph there. Highly technical terms being thrown around on the stream today, folks. The professional oomph and the and among other things are very very necessary things to have within your creative work. Can confirm. Very, very necessary. Okay, let's also do, should we have that one come to a point like so? I think the other ones don't really do that well. They do actually. Let's bring it like that. I like that. And then these 2 pages bow out, so let's make this bow inward. And let's change that from the original bloop there. Let's also give this kind of a cut point like so. I'm liking that. And these other pages, we'll make that kind of dip down. Make sure that doesn't have that same secondary cut like so. And I am liking that. This, however, I'm just noticing this is very similar. Let's come back to our P2 and let's change that to go up like so. So there's like a little bite out of it, and that looks a little different than previously because that was a little too similar. Okay, shall we paint some paper texture? I think so. Make it look like paper back there. Doop-a-doo. Grab some of this warm tone and then we will kind of hit the edges with like a little bit of light to make it pop out even farther. Some of that. Yeah. Just like these tiny edges. We can even get like an in-between stage there. Kind of bring that in. I do like that dark right there separating those pages, however, so I want to make sure that I keep that. Basically, we want to contrast the delineation between the elements and keep that visual going. Another thing that I really like to think about when it comes to creating pages like this, or honestly anything for a creative project, whether it is like client work or just something for myself, because I do a lot of this stuff for like personal projects and stuff too, like, you know, world building and character illustration and prop design, like designing items that characters would own, would have, is like trying to imagine them like sitting in my hand, trying to imagine the feel of a lot of these things, these elements. And I think that it's kind of easy to get lost in the sauce when you're designing something, but like trying to continue that visualization of like its functionality as you move through your project is a really useful thing to do to keep your eye on the ball. I would love to know if anyone is lurkulating, if you guys also create like physical items or like physical props or like digital props and things like this for your campaigns at home. And I'd love to know how you go about that. If you guys are, you know, maybe there's some digital artists in the chat. Maybe there are some traditional artists in the chat. Holler at me if you want. Okay, that is good to me. I'm going to center this. We might bring this in just slightly. And look at that, the center of our page is literally right down the middle of our canvas, which is perfect because my alignment tools hit there perfectly. And I'm going to bring that down just a little bit, and then we're going to put the spine, like the book cover, in the back there. And we're going to do that pretty darn easily, to be perfectly honest. We are going to use the rectangle tool because the rectangle tool is, not only is it fancy, but it is also, it'll allow me to kind of alter the shape of the corners and edges and stuff. So I'm going to sample our red, make that red back there, and then I can do this nifty little trick where I can just grab this little thing here and kind of round those corners, which is perfection. And then we are going to line it up. Perf. Love. And then I literally just have to paint it in such a way that it looks, oops, that it looks realistic. Didn't like that I just accidentally dropped that there. Okay. And make sure that we're lining this up as well. And I kind of want like the edges of the page, honestly, to come in and like encroach upon the pages, because like if the pages have like a little bit of overlap, then it makes it feel more like, you know, this book is open. Okay, so yeah, we've got like a little overlap here with a little bit of the cover peeking out. The only thing is like it's laying flat, and a book doesn't lay perfectly flat. It kind of has like a little bit of bowing, so let's give it some personality. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and transform, and I believe we can warp. So we're going to kind of tip this and tip this. Bring these corners up just slightly. And we're going to tip this as well. And that. And I think we can even tip the, I'm going to bring this down, but I'm going to bring that part down as well. I'm hoping I didn't make this too terribly dramatic. But I think that looks good. We can add more to it if we need to. Let's go ahead and rasterize that, rasterize layer. And with my brush, let's get like a hard round brush. Something sharp, actually, like that, yes. We're gonna do this. we are going to, I could mask this. Maybe I do need to, no, I'm not going to mask. I'm just going to erase. If you are a designer in the chat and you know how important it is just to mask things instead of erasing from a design, look away! Avert your eyes, friends! Sometimes this happens. Because sometimes the masking it's great. If you are somebody who, you know, kind of knows what I'm talking about. Masking is great. It is a great way to kind of work what's called non-destructively. And that basically means that whatever changes you make, you can always come back and change it. You can just turn the mask off and you'll have your original thing underneath, like untouched. So you can go back to your original element. It is hard for me to work non-destructively all the time because my little artist heart, my little illustrator painter heart, whenever I'm doing like graphic design and stuff like this, it just wants to draw. It just wants to draw and erase and do the things that I do when I paint. And so it's hard to like do all of those steps when I can see with my painter's brain, like, oh, I'll just do a little, you know, a little stroke. But then the graphic design headspace is like, no, organize it. Use the masking, you know, make it a special trick instead of just a little drawing that you do. And sometimes if I wait too long and I do it that way, then I lose the idea, or I lose the moment of finesse I could have employed. So sometimes I will work non-destructively, and sometimes I will just draw it, which is what I like to do. Okay. Beautiful. Now, let's alter the edges to make them a little more roughened, and then let's make this look like a real book. Make it look fancy. Make it look important. Okay. And then we can finalize this page. Let's do another clipping mask. Let's grab our brush, a texture brush. Let's turn on our colors and let's grab this brown. We might change it, but yeah, we're gonna change it. There we go. We're gonna fade this around. And we're gonna let this kind of have like a harsh edge right there. Bringing that down. And they're gonna sample this dark color and get an even darker color and start to push that around the edge here. Kind of peek it out, because that starts to give like this 3D vibe to the very edge there. And let's do the same thing here. Boom. Boom, little shadow, little spice. Same here. Let's kind of go around the edge a little bit, and let's grab our light red, and let's kind of dab that right around the edges. Give it a little definition. Give it a little intrigue. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the stuff. Let me get that dark color. And let's put some of that right here, because this is like a little dip, you know, in it all. And then we are going to get ourselves a lighter color, and we're going to make ourselves another layer. Also clip that, and we're going to put like a final highlight around the edge. maybe a little splash right there. Maybe a little splash right there. But mostly around the top edge of this, so it really pops. Right here. Definitely right here on the edge. Give it a little definition. Make it a little fancy. Also right here, because more of this edge is showing than on the other side. Also right there on the corner. Boom! And, you know, this looks like an open book to me, folks. That looks like an open book to me for sure. And we can even just, you know, because eventually we will also do a background, but we can even come in and grab, let me grab like a soft round. Soft round. Grab a dark color here. Let's actually put this on dissolve. And we can kind of begin to add a little intrigue to the background too. Just, you know, like put it in a space, put it in a place rather than like it's a blank background, you know. And I would like to, like, what if we made it wood? What if it's like open on a wood table or something? I don't know. You know, it could literally end up being anything back here, but adding just like a tiny bit of intriguing definition to the background can honestly, I think it can kind of set the mood for your work process. And that's what we do when we play, right? We set the tone, we build that space, we build that world, so that we can put, you know, either put our friends in another place, or, you know, somebody builds the world for us so that we can immerse ourselves in this adventure. That's kind of the artistic rendition of that concept of like, just add that little bit of detail so that you can start to visualize what it is that you're doing, and it can go a long way for the longevity of your project, being able to see it. Okay, good stuff. Look at us. Let's look at the, hold on, I'm gonna pop over here to my face cam real quick just so that I can pull up a previous version of it. And I just needed to make sure that this version is, if I open it up, you guys might see some other projects that are top secret, basically. Is that because Photoshop shows me all of my things. So I'm going to call this Guide C2. And I'm going to show you like a side-by-side comparison of what we were doing before versus what we did today. And I think you will find that it's pretty darn different. Where's this folder? Right here. Perf. Okay. So this is what we had before. And it's, you know, not bad. It's a good concept. It has personality and stuff to it, but the pages are like really long and narrow because I just kind of whipped it together and stuff, and you can definitely see like all of my weird sketchy marks and things over the top of it. And like, these aren't pages, these are scribbles. This is, you know, and then cut to here where I think we're starting to actually see kind of a hammered out finished project, which feels pretty darn good. Okay, let us combine. Let us snag the receipt. Beautiful. And I'm going to take this on over here. We're going to throw that right there. That already looks good in there. Because because I did work hard on like making it real last time. The only thing is that like we don't need the scribble on it right now. We need real real information to put on it. So why is it, let me delete what's not being used there, because when I transform this, it's larger and I don't really want it. There we go. Okay. I think that we could make it bigger if we want. We could make it bigger. Very good, very good. I like. We could even change the color. Before, I think, you know, we wanted to make it brighter, but I think that we could go even brighter with it, to be perfectly frank. I don't think that that would be a bad deal. So let's go ahead and I'm going to make this. We're going to convert that to a smart object so it's its own little deal without a bunch of different stuff attached to it. And then what I can do is let's make another layer. Actually, it's a smart object, so we're just gonna do hue and saturation or color balance. Let's do color balance. Image, adjustments, color balance. And here, let's go ahead and experiment with what color this could be. I was thinking something a little brighter. Let's go highlights on this. Yeah. So that it's really a different color. I like that, honestly. Let's kind of mess with the shadows. Nice. Cool. I mean, it's pretty bright, but it's good. We can alter it. In fact, we could do that to the whole dang thing. We could come in here and group all of our pages together, and we could say convert that to a smart object so that we can get back into them later. And we could adjustments, color balance on this as well. Or hey, let's do, instead of color balance, let's do curves. Honestly, it's not so bad. It kind of makes, like, it kind of sucks a little bit of the sketchy detail we added to it out, but is that really a bad thing? Like, now that I'm seeing it, like, with the pages almost a little more clear than before, I kind of like that. And then we could also say color balance, and we could suck some of that yellow out. I kind of like it. We'll leave it there. And because it's a smart object, I can come in here. This is the working non-destructively, so I can go back to all of the other previous things that I had, which is good sometimes, but sometimes I just want to paint. Okay. Good changes, I think. I like that. So we got our receipt. We have our pages. Let's bring in now some of the other elements. I'm going to grab this Nail fruit, which, so I went over this whole thing, like, and was like, do we like this strange fruit that I invented? Because I have, like, the information about it, but it's like, I don't know what it looks like, so being able to kind of, like, have a little illustration here is kind of nifty. And they were like, yeah, this is cool. And I was like, okay, let's paint it. Let's make it real. So we're going to do that. We are also going to, like I said, add a little strip of the menu in here as well. So let's put our little bit of our menu, because we're going to start dropping in some very real information from Cafe Amiri in here. So that is just going to be like another paper strip. And let's go ahead. I'm going to grab that color because I like that color combo for this paper. And just paint bucket that in. And then we will add another layer over top, and we're going to make this cool. Let's do the magic stuff. Let's sample the colors from here. We're going to paint it up with our new little paper scheme. I want to put a little bit of dark shade right there where the paper is bent. Because we'll have like more tape sort of in here. Or maybe we'll do, I don't know, maybe we'll do some other kind of something to fasten it. It doesn't have to be the same what's the word I'm looking for? Adhesive deal every time. Although it would probably be better if it was the same adhesive type, or similar at least. Since it's all supposed to be like the same sort of, you know, stuff for cohesiveness sake. Okay, that looks kind of cool. I want to kind of roughen these edges though. I want to make this look like it's been shorn off at the edge. So we're going to do a little of this, and then I am going to actually use a mask, and we are going to take our dissolve, and I'm going to cut this away. A little bit. You can't really see it, so let's put our shadow underneath first. Let's grab that color, which is a pretty good shadow. And then we're going to soften it. Just to separate this from the background. Like it needs to have its own separation moment happening here. I'm kind of looking at how we did the shadows the last time. I need to like really mimic that. Let's get that super dark shade in there. Yeah. And then let's use a different brush for our kind of, yeah. I want like a little bit of texture here, like somebody ripped this, you know, like somebody ripped it out. That's what we want. We're getting there. We're getting there. That looks like ripped paper, sort of. We could also grab like a ripped paper texture if we wanted to. But that looks like a strip of paper that's been like torn out to me. And we can like work with that effect going forward. But I think that's pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. So we'll leave that. We'll leave that for now. We can kind of mimic the tape. Maybe there's just one strip of tape, so instead of like one across the side, because I think that would be a little like, okay, you're doing this exact same thing again. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's grab my polygonal lasso tool, and let's just put like one strip going in a different direction than the other piece of tape, so that it's not like so identical that you're like, okay, this is the same thing. We'll have it pasting just like that. And let's go ahead and sample some of this color. And make a new layer. And we're gonna kind of do this. So And we're gonna give this that same, oh yeah, that same treatment. Let's grab that white, because I'm pretty sure we used white last time. And we're gonna give the edges this treatment that makes it like undeniably separate from the rest. Let's give it those little divots of like tape stretch, you know? Boom. And then another thing that this one has that this one does not is right underneath. Let's go ahead and make that a smart object. I feel like in order to make these like super cohesive, I need to also add that shadow. Call this tape because that's our tape. I'm going to group those together and call that menu. So I know that's the menu. And in between here, we shall do more shadow. Let's do the soft. Yeah. Oh yeah. Just give it a little, like, okay, this is stuck to it. This is something that's raised. I don't want it to be like too, you can suggest very easily, you can suggest too much distance with a shadow. And that's why a lot of these little shadow areas, you'll notice that like where the paper is closer, I try to like remove so that it's not too crazy. But that looks like a pretty good shadow to me. I think that looks like it's stuck there. We can even honestly remove from the very edge here. And we could even add like a sharper shadow here because I'm starting to think that like I kind of want, yeah. Just a tiny bit. We could also do it on the edge here. Very subtly though, because it's like on the top and we don't want to like mess up the direction a lot, but I just need to make sure that there's like it really pops out of the page. That looks like it's like paper to me that's like stacked there. So we're gonna put all three of the different like delicious items. I'm about to kind of paste in some really great copy text that we have from Jasmine in here to give us a little more lure. I want to get that kind of blue vibe in there that the other one has real quick so that it's cohesive. I need to make sure I mimic this as well. The only thing that I would say is like difficult when it comes to using the hue and saturation is that I altered it, you know, to be like this, but I didn't paint it that way. I painted it in one color scheme and then I added the other color later. So if I want to mimic that, I have to make sure that I also add like the brand new vibes that I kind of brought into the other element. And usually there's like one or two colors at least that I'm not used to using. Otherwise I would have chose them from the beginning. So I have to remember to do that. And that looks decent to me. Okay. Let's place some information, shall we? So we have the information for the nail rust, but we also want to do like the other two items. So let's grab my text tool, I'm gonna grab like a dark color. We want dark. Let's do a column, in fact. Let's do a column. This is Herb Condensed. You folks might recognize the font because it was used a lot when we did the show. But I'm gonna do like a standard 12 point for this. This is kind of small. It's kind of small. This is a big file, but still. Okay, good. And it puts the lorem ipsum in there for me, but you know, we will change it. So I'm going to, let's go ahead and start like making these separate from each other. Let's do like bold for the title and changing that size. Maybe not bold. Let's do regular so it's not condensed. Changing that title. I don't want them to be that far apart, so let's do something like this where we can maybe like this. Let's go into my properties. No, here. Yeah, I just want that separated a little bit more. Or maybe we make this closer. Yeah, so then like the title of this item is a little, it's just different. Like give it a nice differentiation. And then when I space it out, in fact, let's space it from here. Perf. Let's do 3 of these and let's put the information in. And then we, you know, we can kind of explore this together for the moment because we'll get some pretty cool information. Let's throw that right there. And we definitely have enough for a third. Beautiful. I like it. So the first one, ooh, we also need to make sure that the tape and everything is underneath our text. Or at least, maybe not the tape itself, but definitely the shadow there. Okay, so the first one is the Nail Rest. So let's put that in here. Perf. And we can kind of choose what information. There's a lot of info. Jasmine is incredible, and so when she was like, I'm gonna make some things to add to a menu, she really went full out, and so we've got a lot of stuff for each individual thing to choose from, and I just want to like kind of choose like the cool part, or the part I think that is like really attention grabbing from each to fit the space we have available to us. So let's do juice extracted from the Nail fruit. This beverage is a Sarpani specialty, typically served with a sprig of mint and tangy spices around the rim of the glass. I love that. I think that that is a great thing that I would, you know, if I saw that on a menu, I would definitely want that. But then we also have like the effects of this beverage. So we can also say, let's go ahead and copy this. We can also kind of put this little thing here, which we can make maybe a different color, maybe something closer, honestly, to like the blue that we've got going on. Maybe more saturated. I don't know. Maybe it would need to be like, maybe green. Green could be interesting. Let's take a peek at our colors, actually, because we have colors. That's pretty bright, but we can just bring it down slightly so it's like still related. I like that. We can also alter this. We can put a texture over it. We can do all kinds of stuff. So this says recharges up to 1d4 level 1 spell slots upon consumption, which is pretty cool. So it's got, you know, little fanciness to it. Let's add the next one, which is the millet and Nagin mushroom stew. So we will put that. I'm going to do an ampersand there to make good on space. I should probably spell stew right. I don't know if it matters too much if that is aligned. I'm not sure if we should have all that. Maybe it just needs to be right up there with it. Trying to kind of, you know. Well, okay, there we go. I just won't skip space there because that kind of lines it all up. Maybe. Maybe it does. I think it does well enough. We'll see. I'm not going to be crazy about that really, like, right this moment, because we want to put like some good information in here. Okay, getting their name from the signature snake rattle shape as well as their poisonous nature, Nagin mushrooms were more popular as a potion making component rather than a food ingredient until fairly recently. It wasn't until head chef at Cafe Amiri Dev Narayan discovered that when soaked overnight in water, Nagin mushrooms are not only safe to eat but also delicious, which is very interesting. For the purpose of like making this like little menu items though, I am just going to take the description of the food itself and let's grab this. We prefer to slow cook our Nagin mushrooms with local millet for a savory porridge that will leave you feeling satisfied for hours. With fresh black pepper and a pinch of the spicy stuff, this dish is not for the faint of heart, which I think is awesome. So let's go ahead and copy, throw that in. Love it. And then I'm going to snag this because we are going to add the effects of the stew here. I didn't copy this. Consumption grants advantage on saving throws against poison effects for 24 hours, which is, I think that's pretty cool. And I just want to make sure that I can I? Yeah, there we go. Just kind of align. That good stuff. In fact, I probably can get away with giving that a little bit of a bump just like I can probably get away with giving that a bit of a bump, and we'll just move these up. Maybe I will make that slightly smaller. Am I making it slightly smaller? I don't know. This is the, I think that this is one of those moments where like when you're designing, but other people don't see if you're like, should I make this one tiny thing only like a small millimeter larger than it is right now? Does it look better that way? And I'm wondering, like, from your perspective, if you care. Do you care? Because I, for some reason, really care. And my designer eye is twitching, but it's like I'm taught to worry about those things. But like, do you worry about those things when you're looking at something? Like when you see what I've made, does it register? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay, now the last one is the snow carrot cure. Cure. Okay. Okay, so we have stuff about the texture of the sweet flakiness of the carrots when they're cooked. Let's see. Let's do like, I think I'm gonna grab this portion of it. When slow boiled with almond rice and sweetened milk, snow carrots dissolve into a delicious dessert porridge that nourishes not only the body, but also the soul. I think that's a good little tagline for the space that we have available. So let's go ahead and put that in there. And the idea is that, like, there's this little, you know, piece of the menu that someone's ripped off and put in their journal because they're like, I want to come back for this. You know, I need this again, and I want to be able to remember what they had there, what I loved about it so much, you know, and here it is. Okay, and then let's do the information that is available for the effects. Sorry if I'm humming to myself, by the way. Okay, upon consuming a full serving, the imbiber gains a +3 bonus on perception checks for 8 hours. Also very cool. So, you know, as you're kind of going through your own stuff here, I want to not have this. Why does it add that other thing? I think that's a formatting issue. I think it's in, hold on. You don't want it to do that, but I think it's gonna do it. Let me, I don't want this super big. Photoshop, why? Why? I do so love discovering that Photoshop makes decisions like this for me live on a stream. That's my favorite thing, is when it happens live. It's when it happens in front of everyone. That's just how it goes sometimes, I guess, though. That's okay. I'll figure out how to fix that. At some point, I will. I wonder if I could just get rid of it by going into the other view. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we have, like, you know, this little strip of good information. I think I definitely, though, why can I not? There we go. Okay, I was like, what? the heck? Why? Okay, perfect. There we go. What I do want to do is add like a little bit of like interest to the strip of paper itself, because it's supposed to be, you know, like a menu, but I feel like it needs a little bit more oomph to it. So we're gonna do like some lines and things. Let's do it like this. First of all, I want to, yeah, kind of come here to my shadow here at the end, because I don't want it to encroach upon those letters too much. I want to kind of break that up a little bit, just a tiny bit, you know, just give it a little. Okay, perf. And then I think, well, maybe we don't have to do it right this moment, but like adding something that's like, you know, Cafe Amiri menu, and then there's like those bits of information. I think that would be great. Maybe I'll put that down for now though, so we're not like spending the entire time on it, because I realize we've been here for a little over an hour and there's some other things that I want to do. So we've got our little menu system. Boom. Love it. Like it a lot. Let's take a peek. What did our other page have that this one does not? I'm missing. Oh, our stamps. Let's grab our stamps. Maybe these are stamps from Cafe Amiri. They're very cute. Where are we gonna put these? Maybe we'll actually put them over here, just because like we already have like a big strip of paper here, and I know what's gonna be up there. Like the Nail fruit's gonna be up at the top there, and I don't really want to encroach upon like the balance of the page by sticking them there too. So if this has, you know, like the receipt and then like some little stamps, we could even make this larger. Boom. Make that larger. And then I feel like that's more balanced. You know, we'll have like the illustration up here. We'll have the receipt here. We'll have some more information there. I think we might use a little more lorem ipsum for now, just because I'm gonna write like a little spiel about like how the day went, but I think this is nice. I feel like this is much nicer than it was before. In fact, maybe the stamp menu could actually be like closer here. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see. It did look pretty good over there, to be honest. It did kind of look good here. If I like, I'm just trying not to unbalance the page. Do we have anything else? There's like supposed to be like the sketch of the Ladu and things like that. I mean, we could put more from the cafe. That might be good, but like the point of this is not to be too sketchy, is like this was what the eventual final page will be like. So I'm trying to stay away from like kinda sortas as far as, you know, what we need to add. I might, you know, get some feedback on it. Get some feedback and see about it. I might also turn this so I can see that text better. I think it needs it. Yeah, there we go. And maybe, I mean, it also could kind of look good with the drawing of the fruit sort of eclipsed by that in part. Ideas that could be good. What if we make it larger? does feel like it should be upright like that. That's upright for this fake fruit that we invented off the top of our heads. Yeah, I kind of do like it like that. This is the eyeball phase where we're like, does it need to be tweaked for no reason? Or I think it does look kind of good underneath part of that, and then we can have our little note of like, nail fruit. I kind of want to get, I think I do have like a handwritten font, but I don't know if that handwritten font is going to look good with the rest of everything. So let's grab like a dark color, like a very dark color. And let's do that. I think it's like, I have so many fonts. What is that font called? I'm gonna scroll through here and look for something that looks like somebody wrote it. Yeah, like Chantel. Because it would be cool to have like a little handwritten font. Like there's, you know, the stuff that you got because you wrote, like you ripped it out of the menu, but then there's the stuff that this person wrote. I can handwrite some things myself, but I don't know if my personal handwriting is like the best for this project. So I can put that there like that. And then maybe add, I mean, honestly, I could just put it on a blending mode so that it looks, or add a texture to it so that it looks like it has, you know, like it's a, has texture, like a pen to it, or find another one that has that same kind of vibe. And then with a brush, let's grab the Blocko brush. I like the Blocko brush a lot. Let's grab this color. And then have like a little arrow, like written by the person. In fact, we could do this, and then in the handwriting, we could have like this little section about the, let's see, the yield now grows in the wild in Sarpani, although it was originally the accidental byproduct of druidic experiments. So let's grab that and see if we can put that in like the handwriting. That's kind of cool, like a little handwritten note. I think that this could be elaborated on and made more high quality, but I think that the idea is definitely there, and we've got like real life information in on this page now in a way that I'm starting to like really envision what the end product of this could be. I think that what I need to do, and I like to leave myself notes in my project files sometimes, so like when I open it I will see. I want to leave myself the note that font pairing, because I've been hanging out for a while, I might kind of start bringing this to a close, but some things I want to think about are like font pairing, because I want a nice font for the printed elements, and I want a font that looks good with it to go as the handwriting. I don't know if that's supposed to have 2 T's or 1. This is why I shouldn't be writing it. We also want to have a journal entry from author, because that's what should be like right here, like their thoughts. So we have like the information that they kind of gathered while they were here, which is very interesting, but we should have some personal thoughts from them and how they feel about it right there. That's what should go there. And I don't have the copy for that. And I might toy around and like kind of write my own little thing and then see what everybody thinks about it. But I think that you know, that's what needs to go there. And then I think that it could be interesting if like right here, just like we have the stamps, we had like a business card from Cafe Amiri, instead of like me just writing like Cafe Amiri across the top. Like if I were traveling and I were taking souvenirs, I would take like my receipt, I would take some little souvenirs that I purchased there, like the stamps, I would take a little strip of the menu and things that I liked, and then a business card so that I have all the information from the place, you know, where I would want to visit again. Or if, you know, if I had a business card, I could give it to somebody else, like definitely check out this spot, and that's everything that you need. So let's say Cafe Amiri BC business card, because I want the Cafe Amiri business card to go right here to be like, hey, Cafe Amiri, and it'll hang off, you know, and it'll be really cool. And then there could be like a scribbly note here and a little like a little spiel from our author right there. And that'll be the completion of the pages. That'll be like, somebody will have to give it like a final once through, but that'll be like the polished version of it. And honestly, I think that it's looking really good. Let's go ahead and like full screen, especially compared to like the first concept that we did. I think that this is very well put together compared to that. And I also think that we got into this time while we did use a lot of the same elements. You know, we rehashed a lot of the same elements, but the added polish and the added element of actually having real copy from the project put in there to see like what that looks like, I think could be really interesting. I do want to do like something like this, you know, as well, like some kind of design on the menu. I'm just leaving my, you know, like I said, leaving myself notes. Some kind of design motif on this so that it looks more like, you know, I ripped it out of a menu. Yeah, okay, cool. Cool beans. So that is applying a lot of the feedback I got from last time, and we've created for ourselves another like solid design element there too. And I think I'm gonna come to a close on this one. I think that's I'm proud of it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it, folks. I'm liking it. All right. What time is it? Yeah, we've been hanging out for like an hour and a half. I think that's a pretty darn good stream. All right, folks. I am Voodoo Val. For anybody who joined in the middle or towards the end of the show, you can give me a follow on Instagram if you would like to check out my drawings and things. You can also give DesiQuest a follow on Instagram for updates and things. You can check them out on Patreon if you would like future updates. Turn your notifications on there for future updates on what we're doing on this front. The next time I see you for one of these streams, I will have some pages already completed so you can see like some of the progression of it, and we'll have some more interesting little tidbits to share, like the menu items and more information about the fruit. Let me come over here. All right, folks, thank you all so much for joining. I hope that you enjoyed this little polishing act that we did here for the pages. I hope you're about as excited for the future of this as I am, and I will see you another time. All right? Adios, folks. Happy gaming. happy adventuring, happy designing, and we will chit chat later. Bye.